Before thunder had a name, before Olympus crowned a king, there was fear. Cronus ruled the cosmos with a crown forged from rebellion. He had overthrown his own father, Uranus, and carved power from the sky itself. He believed the age of betrayal had ended with him. But prophecy does not care about belief. It came to him not as a scream, but as a whisper carried through the dark. As you rose, so shall you fall. One of your children will overthrow you. Cronus did not rage. He did not panic. He did something far more terrifying. He calculated. Fear, when it wears a crown, becomes strategy. When his first child was born, the halls of the Titans trembled with celebration. Rhea, his queen, held the infant close, glowing with divine life. Cronus took the child gently into his arms. For a moment, he almost looked like a father. Then he opened his mouth and swallowed the child whole. No blood, no karai, just silence. The court froze. Rhea's heart shattered without sound. One by one, the births continued, and one by one, the children vanished into their father's abyss. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. Each celebration became a funeral. Each lullaby ended in horror. And with every swallowed child, Cronus felt safer, stronger, untouchable. Yet safety built on terror is never truly secure. When Rhea carried her sixth child, something within her changed. Grief hardened into defiance. On a night when even the stars hid behind clouds, she fled to the distant island of Crete. There, inside a cave older than memory, she gave birth to a son. The child's cry echoed like distant thunder rolling across mountains. She named him Zeus, but she knew she could not protect him for long. Wrapping a stone in swaddling cloth, she returned to Cronus and placed the false bundle in his hands. Without suspicion, without hesitation, Cronus swallowed the stone. He smiled for the first time in years, believing the prophecy had been devoured. Far away, the real child opened his eyes, and lightning flickered silently in the dark. Zeus did not grow like mortal children. He grew like a storm gathering strength beyond the horizon. Hidden by nymphs, guarded by warriors who clashed their shields to drown his cries, he was raised beneath the shadow of mountains. As he grew, so did the truth. He learned of the prophecy. He learned of his siblings trapped alive within his father's body. He learned that the ruler of the cosmos feared a child. That knowledge did not fill him with hatred. It filled him with resolve. Destiny had chosen him not for revenge, but for change. When Zeus came of age, he did not charge in a battle. He returned in silence. Disguised and patient, he entered his father's court as a servant. Cronus did not recognize him. Why would he? He believed he had swallowed every threat. Zeus watched, waited, studied the rhythm of a king who trusted no one but his own power. And when the moment came, Zeus offered his father a drink, a potion crafted not to kill, but to awaken what had been consumed. The effect was violent. The heavens shook as Cronus convulsed, and from his mouth came the impossible. One by one, the swallowed gods emerged, not as infants, but as full immortals forged in darkness. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. The prophecy stood before him, breathing. Cronus did not plead. He declared war. The Titans answered his call, colossal beings carved from stone, flame, and primordial fury. Zeus stood beside his freed siblings, young but unbroken, 5 against the old world. It was not enough. So Zeus descended deeper than light itself, into Tartarus, where ancient monsters were chained in eternal shadow. There he freed the Cyclopes, master smiths of cosmic fire, and the Cinemanes, beings with 100 hands and rage older than time. They did not join him out of fear. They joined him because he offered something Cronus never had, a future. From the furnaces of chaos, the Cyclopes forged a weapon worthy of destiny, the Thunderbolt. When Zeus first held it, the sky itself recoiled. And then the war truly began. For 10 years the universe burned. Mountains were torn from their roots and hurled across continents. Oceans rose like walls of wrath. The earth split beneath the fury of titans. Poseidon shattered coastlines. Hades commanded shadows that swallowed armies. Hera stood fierce amid the storm, and Zeus learned the weight of command. Each bolt of lightning he cast carried not only destruction, but decision. The Titans fought to preserve their dominance. The Olympians fought to end a cycle of fear. That difference slowly shifted the balance of eternity. At last, amid a battlefield carved into ruin, father and son stood alone. Cronus towered, scarred and unyielding, his sickle still sharp with defiance. Zeus faced him, lightning coiled around his hands like living judgment. "You would destroy your own blood?" Cronus thundered. Zeus' voice did not tremble. "You taught me how." They clashed, and the heavens screamed. Lightning split the sky as steel met storm. Cronus fought with the desperation of a king who refuses to fall. Zeus fought with the certainty of one who must rise. The final thunderbolt did not merely strike, it divided past from future. Cronus fell, not slain, but broken. The prophecy had not been an act of cruelty. It had been consequence. The Titans were bound in Tartarus. The war ended. Silence returned to the cosmos. Zeus stood upon the heights of Olympus, not as a conqueror drunk on victory, but as a ruler who understood the cost of fear. He divided the realms with his brothers, the sea to Poseidon, the underworld to Hades, the sky to himself. Not domination, order, not terror, balance. Cronus had swallowed his children to prevent destiny. But destiny is not consumed. It waits, and sometimes the child the tyrant fears most is the one who ends the storm. Zeus was not born the strongest. He was born hunted. He did not rise because he was merciless. He rose because he refused to become what he overthrew. And that is why his thunder still echoes, not as a symbol of rage, but as a reminder that fear cannot rule forever. Even kings who devour their own blood cannot swallow fate. And sometimes, the sun who was meant to fall becomes the sky itself. Even after the war ended, even after the Titans were bound in eternal shadow, the cosmos did not rest. Mountains still trembled with memory. Oceans whispered of battles long past. And the sky itself carried the rhythm of a young god who had defied fate. Zeus stood upon Olympus, crowned not merely as ruler, but as the keeper of balance, a reminder that power is responsibility, and that destiny cannot be swallowed, only faced. The other gods watched him with reverence and caution, understanding that the storms he commanded were not born of anger alone, but of wisdom tempered in fire. Mortals below looked up at the sky, sensing the thunder's pulse in their own hearts, never knowing the blood and courage that had shaped it. And somewhere, in the quiet shadows of Tartarus, the Titans remembered the son who had risen against them, not to destroy, but to order, to govern, to endure. Time would pass, ages would turn, new heroes would rise, and old warnings would echo. Yet one truth remained immutable. The sun who was hunted became the storm. The one who was prophesied to fall became the sky itself. And in every lightning flash, in every rumble that shook the earth, the universe whispered his name, Zeus, eternal, unyielding, the harbinger of thunder and balance, whose choices still shape the world in ways seen and unseen. If the thunder of destiny moved you, let the storm continue. Like, share, and subscribe. And join us as we uncover more tales beyond the ordinary.